Hey everyone, this is Steven from The Mashup with a quick note before we get started. I just want to take a moment and say thank you to all that have downloaded and subscribed to the podcast. This has been one of those things you talk about doing but never do, until one day you hit record and start talking. Each episode will be based around a single bottle or a flight of bourbon and some nonsense. We are just normal guys who want to share our love for bourbon. Our goal is to learn about our beloved spirit and have some fun at the same time. Again, from Anthony, Michael, and myself, we just wanted to say a huge thank you and enjoy.
I don't want her shopping for me. Like, that's, because she's going to spend $50 on something that is, that's got a bottle that's shaped like an emoji.
Hello and welcome everyone to The Mashup. This is your place for all things bourbon talk. As always, we are your hosts, Michael Kenny, Anthony Limperos, and Stephen DeLucia. Welcome, fellas.
Hey.
Hey, buddy.
How's everyone doing?
Oh,
great. Just a lazy, lazy night.
Yeah. We have a new bottle tonight. We have a Sazerac Rye.
Oh, right, yeah, Sazerac Rye.
Yeah. AKA
there's a lot of good
Baby Saz.
Baby Saz, right? Baby Saz is one of those that a lot of people are starting to chase. It's one that in certain markets isn't available, but let's just go through the specs real quick. Of course, it's a Buffalo Trace product, parent company Sazerac. It's been released since, I think, 2006, somewhere in abouts, but the bottle that we're drinking tonight has a laser code from 2018. The ABV on this bottle is 45, 90 proof, so 45% alcohol, 90 proof. And the age statement, it's non-age stated, but it's a 4 to 6 year old rumored rye whiskey. The mash bill is Buffalo Trace's mash bill, but of course is a low rye mash bill. And the MSRP is about $30, but of course, depending on where you're at, what marketplace you're in, you can find it significantly less than that. Or in some places, it'll cost you a lot more. So let's go, fellas. What do you think about this one?
Also, It's probably, and I think we've talked about this before, but it's probably one of the coolest looking bottles that there is out there. Like, if I had to pick a bottle, I love this bottle.
It reminds me of kind of a Western saloon style bottle.
Yeah, exactly. This would go well in the old time photo you got taken in Gatlinburg, with your kid sitting there with that empty whiskey bottle.
So is the kid holding the bottle or the gun?
Well, I've got a couple of them that we've done where they're holding the bottle and the bag of money, So, but
I think I got to go on vacation with you guys more often.
Well, I wouldn't step into Gatlinburg right now with an N95 mask on, so.
Well, it's got a nice gold color right off the bat. Nothing too ambery, but
yeah, definitely. It's interesting. This is one of those when you see it on the shelf, it almost does look ambery to you, but when you pour it in a glass, it's definitely got a gold color that's very distinctive.
Oh yeah, it's really, really pretty light for
Yeah, the bottle makes it very deceiving. But like you said, it looks a lot darker than what it pours.
I think it's just a really thick like glass on that bottle or something. I don't know. Maybe that's.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more ornate bottles that you see, especially for a moderately priced to low-end price, actually. Now, I shouldn't say moderately priced. The way the bourbon and rye industry is right now, it's definitely priced more toward the low end of the spectrum. And so for being in that place, that look on the bottle is just amazing.
It gives you a little information. It says this is the perfect choice to make the Sazerac cocktail America's first cocktail. I don't know how they can. That's trademark, so I would think it's got to be true, right?
Well, of course, if you are lucky enough to go on the Buffalo Trace tour, and let's get it clear here, we're not advertising for Buffalo Trace here. They will tell you about the influence that Sazerac Rye has had in being the first cocktail and taking rye whiskey down, I think, the Mississippi and so forth, down in New Orleans, and the history of the Sazerac cocktail.
Pretty cool. I get a lot of apple, and I'm not very good at this. So, pear.
Yeah, I'm getting back you. I'm getting the apple. I'm getting a hint of banana.
I got that on our previous pour. I'm sure that'll come back here.
I feel like I'm getting a little apricot and pear as well.
Definitely pick up that pear note, and I definitely feel like there's some citrus fruit going on in there. But I mean, we've all been drinking this Sazerac Rye at different times in our lives, and we're revisiting it tonight. So smell different things, but it reminds me so much of that. The nose reminds me of that sort of muddled fruit that you get in an old fashioned.
I'm pretty sure if you just kind of set this out blind for somebody, they wouldn't immediately say it's a rye. It's not spicy at all in the nose.
I agree with that.
Go for the first sip.
All right, here we go.
Now it's a rye.
Yeah, it's got that rye bite, if you will.
Definitely pick up those spices. I also think that for me anyway, that citrus note really translates to the palate, and I also get a little bit of like I know that I might be unique in this, but almost like a tea flavor, like some kind of tea.
I get the banana now. It comes out more in a taste than it does in the nose.
Smelling it, I was getting a little chocolate in there, but I'm not getting that much coming through the palate here.
Yeah, I'm definitely not picking it up, but I did smell it in the nose, so it's definitely disappeared a little bit.
So what do you think the highest you've seen this bottle for? Because we said we believe, depending on where you are, $30 is pretty fair price for it. But what's the kind of the high end you've seen this bottle for?
Well, I'm sure Michael and I were talking about this. We were saying that we've seen it as low as how much?
Like 1750 or 1749, something like that. It was just the other day I saw that online in one of the Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Somebody, and that was at like a grocery store or something. That wasn't like any place that's people can't get to. That was like in New Orleans, which is kind of their home base. So, but I don't know, 30 or 35 around here. I'm not actually. It stays pretty consistent. I don't think it has a real high value.
Yeah, I mean, I think in markets where it's very unavailable, you might be able to, the most I would probably pay for it is $50.
Right.
That'd be about the top of the mark. But yeah, I did see if you're in Louisiana, if you're planning on visiting there anytime soon, you can get it for, anywhere from $18 to $24, and it just is abundant. It's on the shelves down there. It's everywhere. So,
and I've seen online now they've got some barrel picks out. So I imagine a single barrel of this would be, especially as unique as we've came across in just what we were tasting. Single barrel would probably be pretty good. Like, I mean, we get a lot of variety from those.
Absolutely. Do you guys remember by any chance last year I think it was on one of the big national social media bourbon groups where the first pick of Sazerac Rye rolled out, and it was, I think, in a total line, and people were saying it was fake. Do you guys remember that?
I remember seeing that. Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm calling BS on that and everything." Yeah, that's funny. I do remember that now.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's definitely a real thing. But
Well, I asked about the price, and depending on where you live, because I was talking to my brother today, and surprisingly, he's gonna get into bourbon, and he's not been much. He's been more into like, the beers and stuff. But he was talking to a good friend of his about which bottles to get, because the friend had a bourbon collection, and he told him some bourbons, and I'm curious, what would you kind of start out with somebody that's new, easy to get into bottle that they can enjoy, not too expensive, available?
I would say, of course, it all depends, I guess, on where you live and what's available to you. I mean, if you can get a Buffalo Trace, I think that is like, to me, just solid. Just
especially a Buffalo Trace pick.
yes, absolutely. But even the regular, I mean, for $25 or so, you probably, if you're just getting into it, you probably don't want something real high proof. So probably had Buffalo Trace in a cocktail before, so that might be something you want to go for.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I also would add that I almost feel like that Eagle Rare is kind of a gateway drug, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I call it a gateway drug as a joke, but so the standard Buffalo Trace, but the Eagle Rare stuff is a lot of places where people that were entry level bourbon drinkers kind of came into that bottle and then said, "This is just amazing," and they got really interested. So that's one I would think about, and then. I get asked all the time, I'm going to get a present for someone who's an entry-level bourbon drinker. What's something that can take it to the next level? And I kind of go to Old Forester 1915 or 1910, sorry, 1910 and 1920. I almost said 1915, but that's coming the thing to blend the 20 and the 10 to make a 1915. But I really like their whiskeys too.
On that topic, let me just say that I never want somebody to buy me a bourbon as a gift, because I'm just like, to me this it's so specific that, like, I feel bad somebody buying you a gift like that and you're like, I don't really care about that, like, because they're probably going to spend $50 on it, and I feel like I can give me the $50 to go spend and I'll go buy what I think I like.
Are you saying you wouldn't regift it or trade it off?
I'd try, but I'd have to, I guess. My wife, for example, is in a Facebook group of women, I don't know, and she said somebody posted on there the other day that they were getting their husband a bourbon for Christmas, and she said, what bourbon under $50 would you get your husband? And I don't want her shopping for me. Like, that's, because she's going to spend $50 on something that is, that's got a bottle that's shaped like an emoji or something, and she's going to, come back with it because she thinks that's cute, and I'm going to be like, no.
I mean, she can come back with the Jefferson Reserve. You never know.
Why? I mean, she'd probably tell me, the guy at the store told me this rabbit hole is allocated, and this looks really good. I'd be like, did you keep the receipt? Because take that back.
Can you actually return liquor? I don't know if you can. I never tried.
I don't know if you. I would think you can. I mean, obviously, if it's not opened. I mean, if you walked out of the store and said, if your wife walked out of the liquor barn and she said, "Oh, I just got off the phone with my husband and I bought the wrong thing," they would take it right back, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Now, I don't know if you could take it home and then bring it back the next day or something. I don't know, but
yeah. I was in a store the other day, and they went. A wife was in the store. She called her husband. It was very clearly looking for Buffalo Trace products. And then when she got in line, she was ahead of me. The husband came into the store afterwards, was handing her bottles, and the person who was working there looked at her and said, like, "These are one per family, one per person." Oh. And so cut them off right at the register, and it was hilarious. I mean, the husband was upset. It was like a whole calamity in the store, and people were trying to get through the line, and I was like, my goodness. So it was crazy with the allocated bourbon there.
Man, that's pretty strict, because I'm not unfortunately, the one per person thing, sometimes they let you buy like one of everything per person. When I've gone through there and seen people, and they've, when there's been Blanton's, Eagle Rare, and Weller Special Reserve, and they've let them buy one of each of those. I'm like, no, I think you have to pick one, is what I think. But
yeah. No, I think that too. That's why I was surprised to hear that phrase, like one per family. I was like, one per family. I'm like, man, this is really getting strict around here.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that at like distilleries where they do like one per household, and they scan your ID or something. But yeah, that's pretty strict.
So what are you guys' overall thoughts of the?
What did you end up telling your brother?
Yeah.
I think he was recommended a few things, and he ended up getting a Wild Turkey 101.
Oh.
And I haven't heard
you
back.
could do a lot worse.
You could do a lot worse, but I'm just not sure what's around him as far as what he can get. And I know 101's pretty cheap to start off with. I mean, I'm with you. The BT would have been an excellent recommendation, or the 1792 small batch.
Yeah, that'd been all right too. Those seem to be things you can get pretty much everywhere.
Yeah. Entry level Heaven Hill stuff too. Maybe Evan Williams Bottle and Bond, or that kind of stuff.
That's the white label from Evan Williams was what I was going to recommend.
Yeah.
And then if you're just getting into it, and you want it, you're just getting into it. You're also going to have that thing sitting there. Then the maker's mark always looks cool. So people are always impressed when you see that. For some reason, I think that's got a little higher stigma in other areas of the country, but
yeah, they're still top selling brands. That's why.
Yeah, they're top selling for a reason. They're pretty good. They're pretty solid.
Oh, absolutely.
But this one, the rye is, if you got to have a rye and you're trying to get variety on, your shelf or your bar cart, then Sazerac Rye is a good one to go with, I think.
Pass, try it, or buy it. What are you recommending?
I'd buy it.
You buy it?
I have bought it.
That is true.
I bought it over and over again. So.
Yeah, I would actually. I would buy it too. Well, I'll let you. I want to hear what you have to say about it, Stephen. But I bought this so many times over. This is actually one of those bottles that has a little bit of significance for me in terms of my whole journey with bourbon and rye. But go ahead. I'd like to hear what you have to think. Say.
I mean, I'm not a huge rye fan. I do like some of them, but I would buy this. It's a good one to have around. It's not too rye hot or spicy. Pretty easy drinker. So I would buy it.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think that easy drinking, and I'll just tell you guys a quick story. 2015, so it was probably the second bottle of Sazerac Rye that I had. I probably got my first bottle somewhere around 2011, if I could think back to then. Memory's a little foggy at times.
It took you 4 years to drink one of them?
It didn't take me that long to drink it, but I mean, it took me that long to buy another one just because I was trying a lot of stuff at the time, and I was just, I don't know, I was just trying to expand and look at different things. So the time I got my hands on a second bottle was right around Derby time, 2015. And so I got the bottle, I started drinking it. I was like, man, this is amazing. This is one of those ryes I remember from the first time I started, really getting into rye. And a buddy of mine, really good college buddy of mine, came down. My wife was like pregnant, ready to pop. So we stayed up at night drinking. We had 2 drinks out of the bottle. And I said, I'm heading to bed. And he said, I'm going to stay up and do some work. And I didn't realize until Sunday when they left at the end of the weekend, he drank the whole damn bottle. He drank my only bottle of Sazerac Rye. He was a mess. But I remember he left a note on the bottom that said, I'll find you another one. And I remember I called him up and told him, are you an idiot? Like, I can't find this in my market. You're not going to be able to find it in Ohio. Like, how in the hell did you drink the whole entire bottle in the span of 2 nights? And I had no idea. And so talk about a smooth drinker. He killed my whole stash. And then now, of course, I'm insecure with it. So I started buying a whole bunch to make sure I always had plenty of it around.
Yeah, it's a hoarder, I think. I had 3 or 4 bottles. Now I'm down to a couple of them. But, yeah, it's one of those ones where I think about going, if I see somebody has it around us, I'm grabbing the keys and I'm going and getting it,
And then you got to post an emoji on Facebook that says you're speeding out to get it, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But I'm not telling you where I got it.
Yeah, not telling you where I got it, but I'm going to go get it, right?
Thanks for listening to this week's edition. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at TheMashupKY. Also, let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.